Good morning, students. We are going to start a new chapter. This is the last chapter of your syllabus, biomolecules. So, what do you understand by biomolecules? All the molecules or the compounds which are present either in the cell or in the body of living organisms. So, inside the body of the living organism or in the cell, you can find out there are different type of the biomolecules are there. For example, carbohydrate, protein and the fat, fatty acid and the glycerol. So there are different type of biomolecules, they are present in the cell. Okay. So we will discuss what is the structure of the biomolecules and what are the different functions. First we will discuss about protein. Protein, so that is a heteropolymer. There are two words. One is the hetero, another is the polymer. Polymer, so that is the long chain molecules. Poly means many. So when many single units they are associated or connected with each other, then it is making a long chain which is called polymer. And hetero means different. The monomer which are present in the polymer, they are not of the same type. If they are same type, then we call it as the homopolymer. And if they are different types, the single unit, then that is called heteropolymer. So the protein, so that is a heteropolymer. And what are the single units? The single units, these are amino acids. Okay. Now single amino acids, they are connected with the help of a peptide bond and they are making a long chain molecule, so that is called proteins. So altogether there are 20 amino acids. In the living cell, you can find out 20 amino acids they are making proteins. The number may be variable and the arrangement, so that may be variable. So amino acids they are connected by peptide bond. What is the structure of amino acid? This is one single amino acid. This is carbon, R is the functional group, H, one amino group, one carboxyl group. Okay, so one amino acid is having a carboxyl group also and one amino group also. Alright, so when two amino acids they are connected in protein, then there is formation of the peptide bond and now this is called dipeptide. So the bond formation that is taking place between the carboxyl group of one amino acid with the amino group of another amino acid. This is the amino group NH2. This is the carboxyl group COOH. Okay, so the bond formation, so that is taking place and it is called peptide bond. So in the protein you can find out there are so many peptide bonds are there depending on the number of amino acids. There are four different structure of protein. Protein also you can find out when we discuss about structure. There are different type of proteins. One is the primary structure, then the secondary, third is the tertiary and the fourth is the quaternary. So the structure, so that is also variable. And the first amino acid in a protein, because a protein, so that is a long chain, so that means it is starting with one particular amino acid. And the first amino acid, so that is called N-terminal amino acid. And the last one, for example, if it is a protein, then this is number 1 amino acid, number 2, number 3, number 4 and number 5. Then the first amino acid, so that is called N-terminal. And the last one is called C-terminal. Okay. There are two types of amino acids. One is the essential, another is non-essential. Essential amino acids we are getting from the diet, from the food. Food, whatever we are taking from that, we are getting the essential amino acids. And their role is very important in the body of living organism. Whereas the non-essential amino acids, they are prepared by the cell with the help of the ribosomes. Then protein, what are the functions of protein? The proteins, they are making the part of the cell. Because you know that cell contain, so that is made up of lipid and the protein. So it is also responsible for making the new cell. Then all the enzymes, these are all the protein molecules. All the hormones you have read, these are also the protein molecules. Now the antibodies which are responsible for providing immunity to the body, so they are also protein molecules. Okay, so you can find out there are multi-purpose role of the protein. And Rubisco, I have displayed you in the chapter of photosynthesis, Ruby's law, so that is the most prominent protein in the living world. Now we will discuss about structure of protein. There are 4 different types of structure. One is the primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary. So primary, so that is a long and a straight chain. This is called primary structure. Amino acid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so like this. Okay. So this is primary structure of the protein. Secondary structure, you can find out there is folding. And the folding or the coiling, so that is taking place in the right hand. So here you can find out the long polymer of the protein. So the coiling is taking place like this. This is right hand coiling. And this is called alpha helix. Helix means you can find out when the 2 strands they are present together, then that is called helix. And here the helix formation or the coiling, so that is taking place in the right hand coiling. Okay. Then in the tertiary you can find out the further coiling and the folding. You can find out it is folded many times like this. So when the coiling and the folding, so that is very compact or the complex, then that is called tertiary structure. And in the quaternary, all these 3, primary, secondary and the tertiary, you can find out there is one single polypeptide chain. But here in the quaternary there are 2 polypeptides. You can find out there are 2 polypeptide chains are there. And these 2 polypeptide chains, so they are making the coiling and the folding, so that is taking place. So there are 4 different structure of the proteins. Now, what is enzyme? Enzymes, all of you know that enzymes, these are also the protein molecules. And enzymes we call them as biocatalyst. Bio means living, and the catalyst in the chemistry you have read. In the presence of the catalyst, the chemical reaction, the rate of the chemical reaction, so that is accelerated. Okay. So all the catalysts which are present in the living cell, and they are responsible to accelerate the rate of the biochemical reactions. These are called biocatalysts. Okay. Some nucleic acids, they are also acting as enzymes, and they are called ribozyme. So what are the properties of all the enzymes? First one is that all the enzymes, these are all the protein molecules. All the enzymes, they can accelerate the rate of the biochemical reaction. Inside the living body, without enzyme, no biochemical cycle can operate. In chemistry, without catalyst also the biochemical reaction can operate. But in the living body, it is not possible. If there is no enzyme, then the rate will be so slow that it will take so many years to complete the cycle. So any kind of the biochemical activities, either it is catabolism or the anabolism, you can find out there is a role of enzymes, and all the enzymes, they are protein molecules. So because they are protein molecules, so they also can act at a temperature of 35 to 45 degrees centigrade. And if the temperature goes beyond this, then the protein molecules, they will start breaking and the enzymes will be denatured. It can lose the biological property. So the enzymes, they are also specific. You can find out the specific biochemical reaction that is catalyzed with the help of the specific enzymes. So all these are the property of enzymes. Chemical reaction, about the chemical reaction you have read in the medical school also, and now also in the chemistry also. There are so many chemical equations you read in each and every chapter of chemistry. Okay. So in the chemical reaction, all of you know that 2 substances or even the one substance also can change the form. Like for example, when the water is evaporated, then the water changes into water vapor. So this is a physical change. And in the chemical change, in the physical change only the shape and the form is differing. Whereas in the chemical reaction or in the chemical change, you can find out now there is a difference in the arrangement of the molecules, and the bond making or the bond breaking is also taking place. Okay. So the compounds which are combining together in the chemical reaction, we are calling as substrate. And after the bond making or the bond breaking, when there is again the rearrangement of the molecules, then you can find out the another kind of the compound is produced, and that is called product. For example, here you see the equation. Carbon dioxide is combining with water. there is requirement of enzyme, and what is the enzyme? So that is carbonic anhydrase. So in the presence of the enzymes, now they are making the carbonic acid. Now here I have given arrow in both the direction. So in the both the direction means now it can go in this direction also it can take place, and again the carbonic acid can also be break down into carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so this is the reversible reactions. And if there is no enzyme in this reaction, then you can see that per second 200 molecules of carbonic acid is produced in the absence of enzymes. But if enzyme is present, then per second what is the number of the molecule that is produced? That is 600,000. So you can imagine what is the difference in the presence and in the absence of enzymes. Okay, so the substrate they are combining together, and then you can find out the product formation, so that is taking place. So what is the actual mechanism? How this transformation from the substrate to the product, so that is taking place. Okay, now we will try to understand with the help of the graph. Now here you see there are two axes are there, x and y axis, and here I have written the potential energy. Here I have written the progress of the reaction, the progression of the reaction, so which is taking place. Okay, or you know that substrate or any compound or any molecule, so that is having some amount of the energy, and that is called potential energy. So here also the substrate, so that is having potential energy. Okay, so when the chemical reaction is taking place, then the time period in between the substrate when it is changing into the product, so that period is called transition period. So that is the intermediate stage, and it is a temporary stage. During the transition period, all these biochemical activities they are going on, and ultimately from the substrate you are getting the product. Okay, but for this bond making or the bond breaking, also there is requirement of the activation energy. Okay, so the activation energy without enzyme, so that is high. You see the activation energy is from this to this. So more amount of the energy is required for converting the substrate into the product. But if enzyme is present, then now the activation energy is only this much. So that is low. So in the absence of enzyme, the activation energy requirement is more, and in the presence also it is less. Okay. So when the enzyme is combining with the substrate, then there is formation of the enzyme substrate complex. Like for example, all of you know that if there is one particular lock, then the particular lock you can open only with the help of the particular key. With the help of the other key, you cannot open the lock. Similarly, the enzymes, as I told you, they are very specific and they are combining with the substrate. They are having pockets. I told you coiling is taking place in the protein molecules. So these coiling they are making specific pockets, and in specific this cavity of the pocket, specific substrate can fit, because the substrate molecule it is also having its own structure. Okay, so therefore the specific substrate can combine with specific enzymes, and they are making enzyme substrate complex. Then again the enzyme substrate complex now you can break down to separate the enzyme, and product is reduced. Okay. And also you know that chemical reaction there are two types. One is the exothermic, another is the endothermic. In the exothermic there is a liberation of the heat, and in the endothermic there is the requirement of the heat. So in the exothermic reaction, the products are that is at a lower level of activation energy than the substrate. But here in the endothermic reaction you can find out the substrate, so that is having a more activation energy, so that there is requirement of the heat from the outside, and then only the chemical reaction it can be